Hello, this is Mish, and welcome to another WestWorld Theories video. So this one is going to contain many spoilers, so if you're not up to date, maybe pause or come back to this video when you are up to date. So currently, we've just seen episode 5. So if you've not seen episode 5, maybe skip this video or come back to it at a later stage. Now with my other theories video, I was really centric around the park location. The park, is it a simulation, and more about that type of thing. But with this one, I want to concentrate on, I guess, the main story arcs. So we're talking about Dolores, William, Logan, the man in black, and also Ford, the director of the park. So it's a complicated topic because there's many things going on here. And there's many other story arcs going on, but I just want to concentrate on these characters because I think this is the main story arc of the whole show at the moment. It may change, but for me this is the main thing. And I've also avoided this topic because I wanted to get a bit more information about the characters and confirm my theories around it. And I've also seen many people kind of suggest the same thing in some comments on previous videos and also in other locations as well. So let's start with Dolores. So in the first episode, the first 1 or 2 episodes, we see many things mentioned to her, I guess, trying to remember. So a voice talking to her saying, "Do you remember?" And we see as well, her remembering about a pistol. She finds a pistol. And we see her first encounter that we are aware of to start with in episode 1 with the man in black. And her things that he says to her are things like, "We are old friends. After all we've been through, let's get reacquainted," and stuff like that. So clearly there's a story there between them that has happened previously. So the thing here, I guess this continues on. So we have a few more, memories that she has of a strange location with a church and also seeing a town devastated and bodies everywhere. So we see this a little bit. Then we start seeing Bernard talking to her. Now, I don't think Bernard is the main driver behind this. I think Bernard's motives are separate to hers. So the voice that she's hearing, I'll go into that a bit more, but she's hearing a voice, and it's saying, "You need to remember, find me," and stuff like that. It's an interesting situation. So just remember that around Dolores' starting part. So then let's move over to William and Logan. So these characters joined us in episode 2. And we see, I guess they're fresh to the park. They're on, Logan has been there before, but they're fresh to the park and off they go on an adventure. And they eventually meet up with Dolores. Now the thing is here, already I think we have 2 separate situations going. So we have 2 separate timelines. So we have the timeline of Logan and William when they arrive. And we have 2 separate timelines, but Dolores is in both. So we keep seeing multiple occasions where Dolores is remembering things and having, flashbacks and dream sequences. And we're seeing, it involves William and Logan. So William and Logan arrived historically. So the present day is how episode 1 starts. So the start of episode 2 with Logan and William, that I believe is a historic moment that Dolores is remembering. Because we see that it says "remember me," and then it cuts to a fade out, a dream moment where we see Logan and William arrive. So there's many of these little cues here that suggest to me that there's a different timeline going on. So we have the pictures in the background will show. I'll go through just a few of them just to give you some more examples. Okay, so one big one would be when she goes to the camp and she falls into William's arms. Then the next day, she wakes up. We see in the background there's no one. So she wakes up, she holds onto the pistol. Then all of a sudden she kind of flashes her head to the side, and William is sitting there, crouching there with a cup of tea to give her or a cup of something. And that situation already is questionable because he wasn't there. He has to move like an assassin. Maybe he's an assassin. He has to move like an assassin to be able to get to that position without making a noise. And also, William being William, as we know him at this point, if he'd seen her with a pistol, he would have questioned it. That's one point. Another big one for me was where it was a nighttime moment and we see them having a conversation. So Dolores and William are talking. Then Dolores starts looking at the moon, and William fades to black. Then she has a moment by herself in blackness, and I guess another memory sequence, and then she falls back and William's there again. Now, probably one of the most obvious would be the graveyard scene when they reach the prior. So we see a multiple panning shot where there's no one around Dolores. She's by herself, and we also have the voice in her head again. Then all of a sudden we turn around and there's a couple of horses, and William and Logan are there. So the last one I'll mention, I guess the real smoking gun for me around this concept, is the final scene, second to final scene of episode 5, where Dolores, William and Lawrence are in the back of the train. So we see, I guess, Lawrence and William sit down to have a drink, and Dolores is there, and we see them sit down in the seats, and then all of a sudden we kind of see the camera pan around a bit to what Dolores is looking at, and then back to the situation, and she's by herself and talking to herself as well. So the things she says as well are very relevant to her, I guess, having a conversation with someone that isn't there anymore, or the voice in her head, obviously, is that Arnold as well. Okay, so now hopefully that kind of the timeline around those three characters are starting to make a bit of sense. If you've not already understood this beforehand, obviously many people have. But yeah, if you've not maybe picked this up, hopefully that makes sense. Now add in the man in black. So his timeline, there is historic components around him. And I'll get into that in a moment, but I guess for right now, just think of him as when we see him drag Dolores in the first episode off into the barn, then he takes off. So that's where it starts for him. And he is off on his own thing. Then he meets up with Lawrence. So his timeline is with the future Dolores. So after he takes her to the barn, we see Dolores come back and be repaired. Maybe it's 1 or 2 days after the incident with the Man in Black. And then she, the flashbacks happen, the voices are happening, and then she goes to I think it was the second night, she goes back to the barn. Her dad's already dead, but she starts understanding the situation. And that's where she's getting the pistol. So that pistol is a reference to her time with William and Logan. And she's starting to remember it and use it. So she found it. She grabbed it, and obviously her ability to actually shoot it is kind of coming back. So we see her then have a moment where she's dragged into the barn again, and she pulls the pistol off the other host, and she can't shoot him. But then she has a flashback to the Man in Black, and she can shoot him. Now that's an important point. So there's many important points, and that's one of them. Also remember how he has treated the Man in Black, how he treated her initially. There was no affection there. It was, hatred, if you want to say it like that. So yeah, the Man in Black and future Dolores by herself, I believe, are on the same timeline. William and Logan and Dolores are in a separate historic timeline. Okay, so let's add in Ford. Ford's Wyatt story is in the current. So that's Dolores and the Men in Black timeline. That story isn't around for when William and Logan are around. So some other important points that we need to consider as well when we're talking about this split timeline of the past and the present. There's many references to Dolores and William being in a relationship and being in love. We see it in the first few episodes when they first see each other. People are talking about love, and it's a reference to them. And we're obviously seeing that, I guess, the relationship build as the episodes progress. Obviously, that situation is a bit strange because one's a host, one's a guest, and in theory, the host shouldn't be able to, learn and feel it. But obviously, Dolores is different. So just remember that fact that if in a couple episodes we still see Dolores changing and evolving, and they become to the point where they're, in love, then add on a few other things here as well. That Dolores is definitely being told to kill the Man in Black over and over again, different ways. She can also initially only fire a weapon when it's pointed at when she has a flashback at the Man in Black. So add that all in there. And another few things to talk about is around the conversation with Ford and the Man in Black. There's a reference there to, Ford saying, "What do you want to know?" And the Man in Black kind of replying, saying, "Well, I can't ask the person because he's dead. And he tried to destroy the park. And remember that I helped in stopping him do that." So just kind of remember all these points. So I guess, what am I trying to say here? What am I actually getting at? What is the main theory? Obviously, we've got the theory around the timelines. But I guess my theory here, so in the historic timeline, the past timeline where we have Dolores, William, and Lawrence heading down the railway tracks now, I think they're going to reach that church. They're going to reach that location, that town where Dolores is having the flashbacks at the graveyard. And there's going to be a situation there unfold where I think they're going to either find some remnants of Arnold or find Arnold himself. Possibly Arnold's death never actually happened. Maybe it's a false flag. Maybe it's not a real situation. Maybe it's just conjured up by Ford himself. And so there's going to be something happen there. But along the way, I think we're going to see Logan back in the picture. I guess the feud between Logan and William will continue. And I wonder if Logan actually kills William before they reach their goal, or possibly after they've reached the maze and leaving. Because I'm thinking that Logan is the Man in Black. But we know the Man in Black doesn't know where the maze is. But I get the feeling that Dolores, Lawrence, and William know where it is. So there's something happens where they get to the maze, they figure stuff out, and either they find Arnold, and along the way William dies, or maybe there's some weird maze object or construction or something in there where maybe you can stay indefinitely in a state where you're in control of hosts. Maybe that's why we're seeing Arnold now. Maybe it's not just a remnants of his code speaking to people. Maybe it's him still speaking to them in a state at this maze location. But I think that we're going to see those characters get to the maze. We're going to see Logan opposing them. I don't think Logan can get to it, because once again, I think Logan is the Man in Black. So he never finds the maze, and that's why he's still looking, because he knows there's more story to this, and that's his driving goal. He's trying to do what William did, because he can never be beaten by him. But then I wonder, I guess there's a side to me which is saying Logan is going to kill William as well, or at least maim him to the point where they get to the maze and something happens with William being injured. Because on the side of that, I kind of get the feeling that the initial part, the initial drive behind Dolores wanting to get to the maze is Arnold. So either Arnold's code is telling her to do that, or Arnold himself, who may not be dead, is at the maze telling her to come here because they want to bring down the park and she is the key somehow. So after this all happens, I wonder if then Arnold is removed from that position. If Arnold is alive, my theory that he's alive, or maybe his code is, but the voice talking to Dolores in the present is actually William. So they make a bond so strong that he is trying to communicate with her to, I guess, get revenge on the Man in Black, or maybe just stop him. So that's another, I guess, component here. So let me just kind of summarize my theories here, because this is quite a complicated situation and it's quite hard to explain it all. So we've got the time differences here. So we've got the past and the present time. I'm pretty confident that I'm right with that one, but the rest is a lot of speculation and assumption. But once again, saying that in the past timeline we have Logan, William, Dolores, and we have that rift between William and Logan, that William and Dolores get to their goal. They get to the town, they find the maze, they might find Arnold there, there's going to be a situation occur, but I think that Logan is going to be the opposing force, but he never reaches that location, but somehow he is involved, and somehow he stops Arnold, or he stops William. Then I just get the feeling that the driver behind Dolores now has changed. Before it was the driver about her, breaking the world, getting getting consciousness to everybody, breaking the park. But now it seems more about stopping the Man in Black, and that seems to be driven by William. But yeah, so once again, this is all crazy theories. Really enjoying the show. It's fantastic that the show is making these theories come out. And it's really, making people think outside the square, having a lot of fun with this. So put all your comments below. If you think I'm right with some of these things, let me know. A lot of people I know think that William is the Man in Black. I don't think that one. I'd say, once again, I think Logan is the Man in Black, if anyone is. But there are contradictory things around that as well. Sometimes the Man in Black definitely says he is trying to free the people in the park. So is he trying to say, that kind of contradicts his, if he was Logan, how Logan used to be. But then there's things where the Man in Black also said he was born in a park, which doesn't really make sense unless he's referring to, I guess, an awakening or a change of heart or something like that. And maybe it's not so much a literal comment. But yeah, so there's many components here, but a lot of fun, really enjoying this. So put your comments below. Always really interested to read them. I had such a fantastic time reading the comments on my other theories video. So many awesome comments there. So leave the comments on this one's fantastic. The only thing is just, I don't mind people disagreeing with me at all. That's the whole point here, is to have this debate. But don't be negative and pejorative about your comments if you disagree. Just keep it positive. If they are insulting to people, I'll just remove them. But yeah, I'll leave it here. So thumbs up if you liked the video, thumbs down if you didn't. Please subscribe for future content from myself, and thanks for watching. I hope you had fun, and I can't wait till the next WestWorld episode. So until then, I'll see you later.